Today's video is all about the hardcore hardtail and trying to stay on two wheels. We're going to explore some amazing off-piste trails, attempt some killer features, get completely lost, and taste the local dirt. What more could you want? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here today at another amazing mountain bike location. This is Hanchurch Woods, and of course I'm riding the Voodoo Bazango Pro, the hardcore hardtail. Let's get to it. That's right, a number of months ago I took delivery of my new hardtail for 2022, the brand new Voodoo Bazango Pro. I was in the market for a hardcore hardtail and this was a great option. We've already changed a few components on the channel and it certainly proves its worth on some hardcore trails. I even took it on a trip to the bike park right out the box. I wanted to see just how well this hardcore hardtail rides straight from the shelf. But today, we're going to step it up a notch. I've come to Hanchurch Woods because I hear that this place will really put it to the test. And as I found out, they weren't kidding. Here at Hanchurch there seems to be no end to the maze of mountain bike trails. These are all natural hand-cut lines created with shovels, blood, sweat and tears. There are also some pretty intimidating features here for you crazy folk. This is my first time ever riding here and I'm on a solo mission today. So my plan is to be a bit sensible and not just ride blind features as fast as I can. Like I say, that was my plan. The first trail I'm going to ride is a short awesome line right by the car park. Already you can tell that the trail surface is quite dry and sandy. There are also lots of loose pebbles on the trail too, a classic feature of natural off-piste.
Well, Ruthie here.
This trail is fast and constantly changing direction. Being my first time down, I was sticking on the main line in the trail. That was until I unknowingly took the chicken line on the right here. And let me show you why I'm glad I did. So I've just come down this line and I was going to take this what looked like a little jump on the left. And it actually turns out to be a good 4 or 5 foot drop. I guarantee you that that has caught someone out in the past. This thing is a 4 foot drop into a dusty left hand turn. Pure death. I mean, that's a nipple high drop right there. If I'd attempted that on my first run down, this would have been a very short video indeed. I wasn't expecting a feature like that straight away, and I'm clearly going to have to keep my wits about me. After this, I pretty much just picked a random direction and headed off into the woods.
There we go. Okay, we're going right.
It seems like my gut feeling paid off because I soon found another steep, punchy trail. This turned out to be quite a committing line. It has a slower start that builds as you descend. It's a steep line with some really sharp corners. It also has a few technical sections that you can roll and some faster drops thrown in. I was still taking things easy, just in case there were any surprise drops like that last trail. But being more technical, this trail was a bit slower, affording me a bit more thinking time. This is probably the steepest thing that I've ridden on this bike so far, and it was feeling really stable and easy to control. With the simple upgrades I made not long ago, like grips, dropper post pedals and tyres, it's performing perfectly. Which is more than I can say for my navigation skills.
So at this point in the ride, I'm completely lost. I have no idea where I am or what trail I'm riding, but I'm going to give this one a go. Let's go.
Heading along, I found some awesome trails in the same area. They were all pretty similar in their steep technical nature and all great fun to ride. And of course, I was constantly on the lookout for more steep technical rolls.
Oh, look at that. Didn't want to hit that blind.
Each trail has its own unique elements and challenges, all of which my hardtail handled with no issues. Although I love riding my full suspension bike, this goes to show how capable all bikes really are nowadays. And if you're not someone who has the money to spend on a bike with all the bells and whistles, you really don't need to have a good ride. Starting to get the hang of the conditions, I found a well-ridden trail further along the track. From the couple of trails I've already experienced, I can tell that this place has some awesome lines. It's fair to say I was feeling pretty confident, but riding trails blind has its own challenges.
Oh, that's loose. And very steep. Really loose. We're good. So that's what I just came down, and that's where I landed. So I came down this chute here, all was absolutely fine till I got to sort of down here on this just really loose dry gravel. Then I just had no chance. I just washed out ever so slightly. It was a bit of a lame crash, sort of ended up down here.
Looking on the replay, it actually seems like I hit the side of the trail before hitting the slippery gravel, but the end result is still the same, a mouthful of the bushes.
Yeah, just be careful, I guess.
With no harm done, I carried on cautiously down the trail, but I clearly hadn't learned my lesson from the crash, because 20 seconds later, I was back hopping over blind drops again. I can see why this trail is so regularly ridden, and it was definitely one of my favourites, but I was clearly taking the lower section a bit slower than the upper.
Remember, always look before you leap. Now I'm doing a lot of looking and not a lot of leaping.
I was finally down, and luckily still in one piece. Which was good, because my next feature is a big one. I came across this steep rock roll. A short committing feature, perfect for regaining my confidence.
So before you hit something, it's always good to just check it out first. There you go.
Of course, this doesn't look like anything on camera, so let's just ride it. Here I go, dropping in. Easy, just a simple rock roll, and with that my confidence is restored. After this, I had time for one last trail of the day, which turns out to be one of my favourites. This is a fast, interesting line with some tight and steep S-bends, and some great views. Although I wasn't exactly going slowly, I was holding back a bit. If I couldn't see the trail out in front of me clearly, or see a landing, I was taking my own advice and starting to look before I leap. I'd already hit the dirt once today, and I'd like to avoid blindly hitting anything too hardcore this close to the end of my ride. This is clearly a popular trail for good reason, and my only regret today is that I didn't get to ride any of these trails for a second time. But now I know what to expect, I can really have some fun next time I come back. So I had a great time exploring Hanchurch. I really only explored a tiny section of the forest today, and there are clearly plenty more trails to try here. So thanks for coming along for the ride. Remember to like the video, subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one.
And very steep. Really loose. We're good. So